Hi, welcome to the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy, and comment your thoughts and opinions on the stories. Let's get started. Am I the antagonist for going skydiving without my best friend on her birthday? So a couple of months back I asked my best friend, we'll call her Lucy, what she really wanted to do for her 18th birthday, if she could do anything. She said she really wanted to go skydiving with me and our other friend, Rachel. Normally, I wouldn't spend that kind of money on anyone's birthday, but Lucy has had a rough year. She recently lost her mom due to COVID. So I scheduled and paid for the three of us to go skydiving on Lucy's birthday, which is on Saturday, way back at the beginning of March. It cost several $100s, not to mention that I had a whole day planned. We'd get coffee, go skydiving, I'd take Lucy out for dinner at her favorite restaurant, and then we'd end the night at a hotel downtown. Rachel pitched in to pay for the dinner in the hotel. I made sure that Lucy knew about these plans literally 2 months in advance, so that she could get the day off work, and she assured me that she had months ago. I've been annoying her for 2 months, texting her periodically just to check that she still had that day off and remembered not to make any plans. Well, flash forward to this morning, and guess fucking what? A guy that she has a crush on at work asked her to switch shifts with him, and she just couldn't say no. At first I thought she was joking. She's like, can't you just reschedule for another day? Have you already paid? I tell her of course I've already paid, and it's non-refundable this close to the actual date, and that Rachel and I had already booked a room for the hotel as well. She's like, well, I'm sure if you just called you could get a refund. So I pull up the email from the skydiving company that literally says appointments are non-refundable. She's like, so what are we going to do? I'm like, well, I know what Rachel and I will be doing. We're going skydiving with or without you. I already paid for it. Then she had the audacity to start crying and playing the victim. Wow. I can't believe my best friends are going skydiving and to dinner without me on my 18th birthday. All because I had to work. Some friends you guys are. If this was your birthday and we did something without you, yeah, I'd be pissed. She's the one who decided to pick up a 12-hour shift on the one day we'd made plans months in advance. I told her to text her crush back and say never mind, she can't take the shift. To which she replied, I can't do that. I already told him that I would. Like, bitch, you told me the same thing months ago. The way I see it, she's choosing a guy with a girlfriend in his late 20s over 2 girls she's been friends with for 4 years. Now for the top comments. NTA. She knew you had plans, but she let her emotions get in the way of making a sound judgment call, and now she's having to face the consequences. I hope you and Rachel have a blast skydiving, and make sure to take lots of pictures. Oh man. Lucy's poor judgment make me think she's going to have a hell of a time in her 20s being a doormat to whatever guy she's in a relationship with. NTA. If it isn't the consequences of her actions, ask another friend to go with you so the ticket isn't wasted and have fun. Lucy also needs to reimburse Op and Rachel for the money that they already shelled out. She is no victim here. Her inability to correctly use the words yes to skydiving and no to crush are not your responsibility. Not to mention that she just completely trampled over your very kind gesture. Enjoy your trip. NTA. Am I the antagonist for taking my child to her mom's home and leaving her there? I am 40, have full custody of my daughter, F12. Her mom only has once a month visitations. Recently she has been acting up and insisting on living with her mom because she thinks I'm a bad dad. I knew she couldn't live with her mom because her mom is a terrible mom. I know it because I've seen the way she treats her other kids, which is why I tried so hard to get full custody. Also, my daughter is used to her very privileged life which her mom can't give her. A few days ago we got into an argument and again she said she hated me and wanted to live with her mom. I got angry. I made her pack a bag, took her to her mom's home, left her there, and told her she is gonna live here just as she wanted. One day later I got a message from her asking me to take her home. I ignored all her messages and calls for 4 days until I figured she has learned her lesson. I answered her call and she was crying and asking me to take her home, which I did. She has been staying in her room ever since. My family thinks I'm a huge R and should have just brought her home the first time she called, but I thought it was necessary. Am I the antagonist? Now for the top comments. I understand that you were trying to make a point, still. You're the a-hole. You said she has a terrible mom, so why would you leave your daughter there for 4 days and ignoring her texts and calls, knowing that she could be in danger? And you may not be quite the dad you think you are if you get all in your feelings every time a 12-year-old says something to you. AITA. Don't use her other parent as a punishment. Don't stoop to the level of an angry 12-year-old when showing discipline. Don't send your 12-year-old daughter the message that she's not allowed to come home. Do act like the adult and parent and teach your daughter how to resolve conflict in a healthy manner. You got what you wanted. She's never going to say that to again. However, instead of calling you a bad dad because of a superficial reason, she now knows if she disappoints or angers you that she'll be sent away. You've taught her your love is conditional. You may have also taught her all love is conditional. Was that really what you wanted? AITA, my app is wonky. So thank you. Thank you for the kind awards. Let's all try to be wholesome and helpful in and out of Reddit. Absolutely agree. She is 12, not 16. 12-year-olds are kind of jerks sometimes with all the hormones. 12 to 14 is prime female hormonal hell. Love her. Support her. Listen to her. You don't need to put up with abusive behavior, but abandoning her and not answering her calls for 4 days was poor parenting and just plain cruel to her. So you willingly left her with someone you describe as a terrible mother for 4 days when she wanted to come home after 1. You're the a-hole. It must hurt when she tells you that you're a bad dad, especially since you fought so hard for her. But guess what? That's kids for ya. Do you know what you just did? You just proved to her that you are a bad dad. She wanted to come home and you ghosted her for 4 days. That's some toxic parenting right there. She won't ever forget that. Am I the antagonist for making my sister and nephew move out? I, 45F, have been a foster mom for 9 years now. The same boy, now age 16, has been in my care for these 7 years. I have tried adopting him, but the situation with his birth mom is complicated, and it fell through. I consider him my son though, in every way that matters. I also fostered other children, but for shorter periods of time. My son and I live in a 2-bedroom apartment. We each have a room and there is a spare room, like a guest bedroom. During COVID, my sister, 37F, and her son, 17 male, moved in with us. They have been sharing the guest bedroom, even though my sister said that they boys should share a room so she could have her own. I refused to change my son's life like that, and since they were only supposed to be temporary guests, I saw no need. My sister hasn't been looking for a job or anything. She kind of expected to stay here forever, I guess. 2 weeks ago, I started fostering another child, a 15-year-old girl. It's a longer period placement. A week before she came, I told my sister that she and her son will have to move out in 30 days. Also the legal requirement for tenants. Because of this, sister begged me not to do this to her and said that the 3 kids can now share a room. We can both keep our own rooms and things don't have to change. I said absolutely the F not. That's ridiculous. Then she said that at least my 2 foster kids could share a room and she and her son will stay in the same room. I said that I'm not about to put a scared anxious 15-year-old girl in the same room as a 16-year-old boy, because that's just crazy and unreasonable. She cried all the time for a week, begged me not to take this girl in. When this girl came, she, my 15-year-old foster kid, took my room, and I have been staying on the couch and will for another week until sister and nephew move out. Yesterday I came home from work and found my son upset and foster daughter crying. I asked them what happened, and they said that my sister told them that they are just foster people and she and nephew are family. So they, sister and nephew, will stay, while they, foster kids, will have to leave. I lost it. Told my sister to have her shit packed in a week, because if she doesn't disappear on day 30, I'm calling the cops and having her dragged out. She has been begging me all day to let her and the son stay for a little while longer and just make the stepkid share a room for a while, because otherwise she'll be homeless. Now for the top comments. NTA. You gave her 30 days and she chose to belittle and undermine your kids in an effort to bully you into giving her what she wants. Your job is to protect your kids. I don't know if any foster agency that would allow opposite sex kids to share a room, especially at that age. Sister and nephew need to move on. I'm sure there are other places they can go, and maybe sister can actually get a job and support herself. NTA. The fact that your sister thought you would let her stay after she traumatized 2 innocent teens is outrageous. Yeah, telling 2 foster kids that they'll be kicked out will make you change your mind and let her stay, right? What was her goal with this? She brought this onto herself. Don't let her blame you on her being homeless when she clearly has plans to take advantage of your kindness. She's going to continue to mooch off you if let her stay. Make sure to change the locks or get your key back if she has one, and be there when she leaves so that she doesn't try to steal anything. She is 100% mooching and taking advantage of Op's kindness. It was supposed to be temporary, but the sister's reaction makes it sound like she was planning on staying indefinitely and is mad that she couldn't. Am I the antagonist for saying having kids would ruin my life? Hello all. I will keep this short and sweet. I, 40F, do contract work, so I'm moving every 3 months or so. I'm also happily single and have never wanted to have kids. I'm very content with my life. I get to do whatever I want, whenever I want. It's the bee's knees. Anyway, on to the story. The other day I was at work. For the record, I work with a lot of women. The topic of family and children came up, and I was asked when I was going to have kids. I said never. One lady kept bugging me about it, saying it changed my mind when I met the right person. Having a baby will be so satisfying. I'd regret it. And my personal favorite, that I was being selfish by not having kids. I've heard all this before. It's nothing new. I usually just brush it off. I tried my usual brushing, but this one woman was being so persistent and smug, like she knew me better than I knew myself. And honestly, it just irritated me. I told her I'm 40. I think I know best if I want kids or not. And honestly, having a baby sounds like a literal nightmare. It's not something I ever want. And having kids would absolutely ruin my life. After I said that, she got really huffy and told me she didn't know how I could hate kids. That she has 4. So I think her life is ruined. I told her no. That I'm happy she has a satisfying life and that's what works for her. But that lifestyle doesn't work for me. Not everyone needs to be a mother. She stopped talking to me, and the other people around said I was too harsh. Plus I heard through the grapevine she was filing a complaint with ours. Am I the antagonist? I admit I could have handled the situation with a bit more tact, but she got under my skin. Plus honestly, I was tired of the conversation. Now for the top comments. NTA. And if she does go to ours, make sure they know she was harassing you about your family status. This, you did not harass her. She harassed you. NTA. NTA. I really hate it and find it patronizing when people think that you don't know your own mind by not accepting when we say we don't want kids and saying we'll change our minds. Saying having kids would ruin your life is in no way saying that you hate kids or you think people who have kids have ruined their lives. This, 100%. And I say this as a mother. Parenthood is not for everyone. NTA. I'm not sure what she will report you to ours for when she was the one prying. You answered, and she didn't like it. Good job keeping your cool. Am I the antagonist for refusing to tell my wife to stop putting notes in my lunch? Okay, so my wife, 27F, has a habit of putting notes, affirmation, in my 31 male lunch when she packs it. She's been doing it for a year now. It started when I suffered from some issues surrounding employment, and I appreciate it a lot because it gives me strength and renews my energy for the rest of the day. So anyway, my co-workers know about and sometimes would tease me about it, calling me a 40H or 5TH grader and calling my wife granny. Just teasing, nothing unusual for them. It happens at lunch where most of the guys in the department sit together. A co-worker of mine, Jimmy, is the newest employee in our company. He lost his wife few months ago, and he is sort of a prickhead dude in general. However, he started sitting with us during lunch break after the guys insisted. I sit and eat my food. After I look at the note my wife left, then rinse and repeat. Till few days ago, one of the co-workers pulled me aside and we began talking. Then the note thing was brought up. He told me that Jimmy has been enjoying sitting with us during lunch break, but couldn't help but feel uncomfortable with the notes I keep pulling out of my package every day. He then went on to tell me that you'd lost his wife, and seeing me getting notes from mine hit a nerve because it reminded him of his late wife. I felt puzzled. I asked, okay, what am I supposed to do about it? He told me to consider telling my wife to stop putting those notes and maybe find some other way to do it instead of bringing them to work and having Jimmy look at them like. I wasn't sure of what to say, but I told him it was ridiculous. He reminded me that Jimmy sent him to me with this message thinking it'd give me more space to react, and then told me I literally lose nothing by having some consideration for the poor guy and be as less insensitive as I can. I told him off and said that it's not my fault Jimmy is struggling with grief, and it's not like I even know him that well to be accommodating him to this extent. He said that I was being cruel and selfish and got the others to witness the argument and shame me for my stance, but I refused to do it and went back to work on my project. Things had been tense at my workplace and some of the guys I'm close with say I should be more empathetic and try not to make Jimmy uncomfortable after they went through hell to get him to sit with them on lunch break. Now for the top comments. NTA, do not ever compromise the happy actions in your marriage for anyone else. Ever. I totally agree. It's the small things like this that keep love alive. My husband gives me a kiss every morning before he leaves for work. Most of the time I am dead asleep and don't know it happened, but the times I wake up it's precious. He's done this for the 10 years we've been together. I hope Bob keeps getting these notes and stores them away. They'll be a treasure later in life. NTA, at all, your marriage and the way your wife expresses her love is your business. It's unfortunate about Jimmy, but that's a massive boundary he crossed. Are you all never allowed to mention your wives again? How long is this supposed to last? I feel sorry for him, but it's out of order to expect your wife to stop the notes. I agree with this. And then what's the next step? My dad passed away and now you can't mention your dad to me. NTA. Opus. NTA. Jimmy needs to learn that other people are happy, and he's going to be unhappy for a long time. If it makes him uncomfortable and he chooses to sit, then he needs to deal or leave. Am I the antagonist for refusing to share my dad's memories with a total stranger? Throwaway. Background. Before I, 16F, was born, my mom and dad had a rough patch and my dad donated his sperm for some cash. My dad chose an anonymous donation, so they thought that if someone did end up being born from his sperm, then they wouldn't be able to find him. But now with Ancestry and other sites that allows you to find your biological roots, it's hard to be truly anonymous. My dad passed away 2 years ago because of the pandemic. Now, 6 weeks ago, a girl named Elizabeth, 20F, came to our home and claimed she was my dad's daughter. Her parents were always honest, and while her life was good, emotionally and financially, she always felt curious about my dad. We did a DNA test, and she is indeed my dad's daughter. She came asking a lot of questions and my mom received her and was polite with everything. I did say hi and sat for a bit with her, but ultimately I decided to go to my room. She has come every Friday since then to just learn about my dad. She calls him father and to take a look to some videos and photos. She looks a bit like my dad, but just a bit. She says she would love to spend more time with me because I'm like the vivid picture of him, but I'm not comfortable. I don't like to be around her. My mom and I already cleaned my dad's stuff and most of the things we still have are mine. My mom let me part ways with them at my own pace. She asked if she could take some, and my mom said that those were my things and it was my call. I said no. She wants some really emotional, valuable things like ships in bottles that we made during my childhood, some CDs of his favorite music with his writing in it, and since he was an architect, some of his drawings, not work drawings, drawings he did for fun. She said he was part of her too, but I said she was just a stranger, and I don't feel comfortable with it. Those are my things and I won't give them away. She was disappointed and said I was acting selfish. but my mom asked her to comprehend that this is all new to me and this is my stuff. So if I said no, it's no. She left soon after, but texted my mom that she wants at least one of each, and that I was acting like an R. Now for the top comments. NTA, it's your stuff period. Someone being a sperm recipient is not the same as family. Truth. These items represent the memories of Op's dad. Memories this woman was not part of. Op and his mother really should just block her. They've indulged her curiosity enough. It's time for her to respect the wishes of her sperm donor and his family. NTA. She has a father. She doesn't need stuff of your dad's because she has no emotional attachment to them. Your mom should stop and just share medical information with her. There is no need to keep sharing memories with her. Your mom needs to honor your dad's wishes of an anonymous donation. I agree. It's time for your mom to stop having her come over. This woman knows about your father, has seen some pictures, and met you. If she's now crossing boundaries and making you uncomfortable, it's time to say goodbye.